Well, g'day folks. Today we're going to be joined by one of the biggest characters in footy. His name is Warwick Capper, and you can book him for sportsmen's events by going to the Talking Talent Facebook page.
Welcome to Legends with Bevo. Thanks to the Holdy Hotel, Coopers, and Anytime Fitness Glenelg.
Warwick Capper, great to have you on Legends with Bevo, mate. How are you going over there with social isolation? What are you doing to keep yourself busy?
I've been going well, mate. I've been watching my highlights. That took 6 weeks, 7 weeks. I watched Fev's highlights, took about 3 minutes. So Caps is going all right. I go for a run once a day, an hour a day. Get down to the man cave and have a look on pictures and sing a few songs, do a bit of gardening, and just try and keep in a bit of routine, mate.
So you've been doing a bit of gardening. So the weather over there in Melbourne's been all right?
Yeah, been good, mate. It's a bit cold, but not bad, yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Queensland for 24 years, and I was getting a bit sunstroke up there. A bit backwards in Queensland. I was running for mayor up there. Remember that? Ran for mayor against Pauline Hanson.
Oh, mate, you've done it all. So why did you go to Brisbane in the first place? Because obviously you're going so well over there in Sydney.
Yeah, well, I was the first $1 million manager, you know, kicked 195 goals in 2 years, and then the club was broke. And then Christopher Case offered me a six-figure bit of a clearance fee and a big contract for 3 years, and I was the first $1 million boy. So I went to Brisbane, and they won about 6 games in 3 years. It was a nightmare.
Yeah,
I was the highest paid player in Australia.
You would have rather stayed in Sydney, mate.
Yeah. I probably should have been Einstein, but the missus wanted to go out there for holidays and wanted to live there, so I thought I'd take a chance. But they weren't a great club back then. 10 years later, they won 3 premierships. So it's all about timing, isn't it?
Oh, mate, talk about a stitch up.
It's all about time. But I took my centre up there about 6 times and got friends of Christopher Scase's wife. Had my own penthouse, my own Ferrari, my own rubber and tug girls. I was all happy up there. Had my own Lambos. So it was interesting 3 years, mate.
And what about your time at Sydney, mate? You're pretty stiff not to be in the Sydney team of the century. You're obviously a bit unhappy about that, I heard.
Yeah, well, I made the club $100 million in marketing, so I was pissed off. But I got in trouble because we had a bit of a fallout with I'm not sure who it was now. I think it was Ricky Quaid. We had a bit of a fallout, but then we're friends now. So they actually made up, and 10 years later put me in the Hall of Fame, which is better anyway.
Oh, that's right.
Caps goes boom once again. So we're back friends now with the Swans and everything. They realised they made a mistake, and they put me in the Hall of Fame, which counts. So me and Paul Roos got in there and Greg Williams. So it's alongside some great names, and the rest is history. They've got the second best 4 foot up to now, Buddy Franklin, but he's struggling. And I was the instigator.
Yeah, what advice do you give for Big Bud to be like you?
Yeah. He's not a household name like me, but he's not a bad player. The old mate up there. But let's hope the Swans can get back in the 8 next year. If
That's right.
There's some footy, we're hoping. And I've got to tell you, viewers, make sure you can book me on for a bit of a whiz vid on whiz39capper@gmail.com. They can book me for a bit of video. I've been doing those for the last couple of years. They've been fantastic, and they can book me for a virtual sportsman's night too. That's been going beautifully. Thanks to Scotty and myself, Scotty Kennedy.
Yeah, he's a good fella, Scotty, isn't he? And hopefully once this stupid virus is over, mate, we'll get you over to Adelaide to do some sportsman's events, hey?
Yeah, we'll do that. That's good, yeah. I do a few with Ricky Quaid, and Ricky Nixon. Ricky Nixon. I do them with Sam Newman. I've probably worked with everyone in the last 30 years. Been fantastic all over Australia. Do about 180 shows a year.
What about Sam Newman, mate? He's an interesting character, isn't he? He's not too happy about not being able to play golf at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I went out in his boat a few months ago, and 2 days later he sunk it. He went on the wrong next to the wrong buoy. He went over the wrong buoy, and he put a hole in it. Silly old prick. Fossil. He's had that much plastic surgery, and when he cries, the tears run down his back. Caps goes boom.
I love the podcast for those boys that you're on recently. That was an absolute laugh. How was that experience?
Yeah, that was good. That went to about 200 million people, 3 million people killed it. Number one ratings in the world. Same with Open Mic. Back at about 9, I think about 6.5 million they hit that achieved. That's pretty funny, wasn't it? Yeah, Mike Sheen.
Oh,
and then Mike goes,
love it.
Yeah, Mike goes, oh, another great question, Mike. I said, I'll do the funny stuff, Mike. Don't try to be funny. Take your mask off, you idiot. And I was on, and when I was with the Sam Newman show a month ago, I said, there's 3 famous bricks here, and I'm all 3. You don't get included, Mike. You didn't play footy. You played in the thirds. You idiot. and
how did he react to that? Was he spewing?
Yeah. He was a bit. Didn't matter. He laughed. He's a good bloke though. He's a bit arrogant, but he's a good bloke. I don't mind him. I'm friends with his son. And we had the guy from Hort, Don Scott, was there too.
He's an interesting character, isn't he?
Don Scott loved me in the second. I said, so you should love me. He goes, oh, you're good in the Army Reserve Cup, Warwick. I enjoyed your fights. I said, well, yeah, I know, Don. I kicked 92 goals. Had a bad year. Still one of the best in the fairest. So I did hear you're a bit gay. So if I was changing the changeover with you, Don, I'd be walking in backwards. Caps goes boom. I was only one of
And no, mate, I'm a bit jealous of you because as a kid I used to love watching Baywatch, and you were in an advert not long ago with the great Pamela, an altitude advert. What was that experience like?
Yeah, that was shit hot. I had a TV show on the platform on Aurora, so Sean Buckley sponsored my show. That's how I got it. And then I worked with about 3 months ago with Pamela Anderson. Yep, that was unreal. That was good money. And I did Charlie Sheen last year. I drove the boat. And I also worked for Fox FM with what's his name, the full forward.
Big Fev.
Yeah, Big Fev was there. I worked with him, and they actually dumped me on there because I was too sexist. Funny, but even though it was a setup, it was good fun. They said, what was Charlie like? I said, Charlie, he's had more snow than Falls Creek. Boom. But not a bad bloke.
So he's a bit of a loose cannon like you, is he, Wiz?
Last year we worked with Pamela Harrison. She was nice, and that was pretty funny, yeah. I just said there was plenty of makeup with the makeup truck and plenty of silicon, worked with all the strippers. And, good commercial. I went all around the world, so it's got me worldwide now. Fantastic.
Oh, mate, we all love it. We all love it over here.
Yeah, next year might be with Jim Carrey. Next year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Two mad pricks. You and me. Be grouse, wasn't it?
Mate, how good are his movies like Ace Ventura and Dumb and Dumber and those movies? Aren't they just the best?
Yeah. He's bipolar, but I think he's not a bad bloke. And I did SEN 2 days ago, and I was with Bob Maher and I think it was Bob Murphy, and I got voted the second best player with number 39. I said, there's got to be a fucking mistake. Number 2, who beat me? Who beat me? And I said, a little day go, Liberatoria. I said, fuck it, how that little woggy prick. How did he beat me for the most popular, number 39? He's a scratch everyone. Good player, eh?
And what about those tight shorts you used to wear, mate? How did you breathe in those?
Oh, yeah. I actually borrowed those off my son. They were my son's size 3 shorts. I squeezed in. The cock was hanging there. The rest was history, mate. They said, how big's your cock, Warwick? I said, 3 inches from the ground. And boom, the girls loved it. In Penthouse 4 times, #1 movie. It was all happening, mate. It's been a big 20 years, mate.
Yeah, I can just imagine. Mate, so how do you find footy nowadays back to when you were playing? Fair bit
we love footy. I still love footy. Love the Swans, love Richmond, but the game's evolved every day, as you know. They go sort of backwards, they go forwards. It's more open game. It's a lot fairer, the game. But you've got to be probably 3 times better player to play in the forward line. That's what Jason Dunstall said too. Because playing the back line, you can be a bit of a meathead, just run off and just punch. It's easy in the back line, but playing full forward, it's a work of art, mate. You've got to be tough, good looking, do your makeup, put the ball through, allow for the wind, and still be a great player. It's not easy. But the game is still good, but I like the old days better. Most people do. 90s and 80s are the toughest time in the game. I think the game's got a bit better, but it's just it's a lot fairer these days. There's 3 umpires now. Back then there was only 1. And the game's still good, but most people, I agree too, that I like the 80s and 90s myself. Didn't you? It was a bit tougher, wasn't it?
Yeah, I agree, mate. I love watching. Love watching the highlights and when you do a solid bump and not get 10 weeks for it, mate.
It's a bit of a pussy's game now. You just touch them and you get 2 weeks and you can't do anything. Back then I used to, Rick Kennedy, he used to stick his finger up my ass, stand me on my pink boots, pull my hair, and I knocked him out. And I said, before I knocked him out, I used to need him in the balls myself, get him back. And I said, I enjoy that, Rick. Keep going. It's very nice. I enjoy. He thought I was mad, but I said I quite enjoyed that, Rick. But back then, a bit of banter, but they were tough pricks. But after the game, we shook hands and we're still friends. But these days, it's 35 possessions each. No one's picking a man up. They're running off the back line. It's and there's not many high marks these days, is there? Again, because everyone after 7 minutes, everyone comes off for a rest. Back then, it was come off once a game, if that. It's different.
Do you think shortening the quarters, though, like they're looking to do you reckon that might maybe go back to the old days a little bit?
Yeah, I think that's good, yeah. And now the game's on hold because of coronavirus. They're making quarters 16 minutes, which is not a bad thing. But these days, I think they're a bit soft sometimes. They come up for a rest every 7 minutes. There's a lot of rotations. But, yeah, the game's evolving. I think it's in good hands. I'm just hoping to get back in middle of July because everyone's getting bored shitless at home. You know what? So many highlights on Netflix, can't you?
Exactly.
And Melbourne needs AFL, doesn't it?
Exactly. No, I totally agree with you, mate. And the nickname Wiz, where did that come from, buddy?
Jared Hill nicknamed me Wiz. I was Wiz of the goal square because I kicked during 88 goals, they averaged a 3.2, and I was Wiz of the bedroom, had number 1 porno. So they called me the Wizard. Wizard in the workbench, Wizard in the goal square because Caps goes bang once again. I sold 970,000 copies of that movie, Triple X Capper, and Penthouse 3 times, and I was in Women's Forum. So I've done a fair bit, mate. I had my reality show called The Cappers. It was good. Up there in Coomera. You might have watched on, remember the show The Fat, Channel 2?
Yeah, that was awesome.
I started the reality before Osborne. So I had The Cappers. So it's been good. Yes, it's been good. Had number 1 book, number 1 record. They used to call me the Milli Vanilli of the 80s. That means, get that? That means I couldn't sing that well, but I just dubbed it a bit, but it was good.
And you've had a few different businesses as well, mate. You've had the cappuccino one, you've had the well-hung meats. Talk us through those.
Yeah. I'm the proprietor of Capper's Well-Hung Meats, the housewife's best friend. You ring, we bring, so I've got a share in that. That's the Mastercard Butchers at Essendon. And what else did I do? I was a Sweps man, the Nando's man, and I've just got a contract for Red Rooster next week. I'm the host of Red Rooster. And also Samsung air conditioning. That's going to be good. That's going to go, and they've got 8 shops, and I'll be on the vans, and that should be good. That should be a good endorsement because they sell the best air conditioning in Australia. Just tell them Warwick Capper sent you.
You're killing it, mate. What made you want to get into doing porn movies?
Oh, I just love the size of my penis, and I've quite well endowed. And I just thought, why not have a bit of crack at something different? And pick up a lot of money, and it made me more envious than other guys too. Fantastic, wasn't it? I've done everything. I ran for mayor. Remember against Brian Hanson?
Yeah, you did too.
That was fun. Yeah, where's this show going to anyway? Around Australia. It's a podcast, is it?
Yeah, it goes around Australia, mate. Overseas as well, all over the place.
This is a bit like Sam Newman's, is it?
Yeah, although I can't say I've got a profile like Sam, but at least I don't have Botox.
Yeah, not as big as him. Yeah, I know that. That's what he said. Sam's had that much plastic surgery when he cries, the tears run down his back. Yeah.
Hey, let's go back to your footy career though, mate, because obviously you had at the start of the show I mentioned how you finished runner-up from the Coleman twice, kicked over 100 twice, which shows that obviously you're a superstar of the game. Talk us through your junior career and how you ended up playing for the Swans.
Okay, well, I started at 8 years of age, played for 4 different clubs, and I ended up playing with David West Jones under 10s, Oakley Youth Club. Then we went and played for Oakley Districts in the Federal League. And I ended up winning the best comparison in the comp, in the Federal League, me and him. And I got drafted to 15 from the Federal League. And then played in the thirds, played in the seconds, won the best comparison seconds by vote, luckily. And then the following year, I played my first game in 1983. That's how it started. So it took about 3 years to get a game, hard work. And I played for Melbourne the first 2 years. I flew to Sydney, and then I moved up in 85. Then the next 3 years it was Warwick Capper mania, and the rest was history, as you know. It was bang. It was swanettes, shorts, champagne, football, and a lot of Botox. And that wasn't in my ass. That was in my face. No, no Botox back then. That's how I started. A lot of hard work.
Who was your toughest opponent, mate?
Probably the ex-wife. She fucked me. Joking. No, Rick Kennedy. He was hard. Rick Kennedy was pretty hard. He was quite a good player. And Stephen Silvani was pretty hard playing too. But most of them were pretty ordinary.
I heard you thought you weren't too happy about Silvani though, because you used to grab onto your Guernsey a bit.
Who did?
Silvani.
Silvani, yeah, he's the biggest cheat in football. I'm not a bad player, but he used to always, pull your shorts and hang on to you. I don't know about team of the century, but he got lucky there, didn't he? Actually, went to the Carlton Mad Monday last year. Daisy Thomas dressed up as me, so that was interesting. I had to wear the chic Collingwood jumper, and he wore the big 39 because he liked me.
He's a ripper, Daisy. He seems like a top bloke.
Yeah, he's good, great. He lives around the corner. We're in the expensive areas here because we got money. We're in Bourne and Ivanhoe. We don't buy a house under $3 million. That's why I own 3. Boom. On the backyard, look. I'll give you a bit of a tour. Look, see? Nice,
mate.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a ripper.
It's like I kept saying, Lisa, we in Bourne or we in Bali? Fucking great. You ripper.
No, very nice, mate. And you mentioned before Stephen Silvani, and the Blues actually offered you a fair bit of money. Was it ever tempting to go and play with the Blues?
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, when I won the best of the first and seconds, you must have done a bit of history on me, did you? Because I was gonna go to Carlton or Collingwood before I went to Sydney because I can be pretty good money, about $80,000 a year back then, was a fair bit. And then Sydney matched it. Then I went to Sydney in '85, I think it was '84, yeah. But I did think about staying here, but I realised it's a privately owned club, and there probably some good opportunities up there. And decided to go to Sydney.
Yeah, I reckon you made a good decision in the end, mate.
What's that, mate?
I reckon you made a good decision in the end.
Yeah, mate. I played for 2 privately owned clubs, so it's good for me. And the kids are still 30 years later, still going, Kiapa! They forgot just liquor. Now it's me the last 35 years, so that's all right with it. I'm the catch guy at the kids' parks.
Mate, we've got something in common. I used to get called Bevelenko because I used to love going for hangers as well, like you.
Yeah? Classic. Bevelenko. Yuppie. So make sure your fans book me for a bit of a whiz bit or commercial, all right?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. What was your secret to taking a perfect hanger?
I just practiced up at the park. I was a bit of a high jump champion at school, so I just liked high jump and I was good at athletics. And I just practiced a lot. It's all about timing. Watch the ball and the guys back at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And then, just sort of take it like a panther in one hand. Take it one hand and come down smoothly. Don't hurt the guys back too much. I mean, it's good timing. Poor Chris Langford. Poor Passmore. Poor Rick Kennedy.
He's still in their head a few times.
Yes. And poor Danny Frawley passed away now. That was terrible. Yeah, he had a bit of depression. That was terrible. And I kicked 5 goals in 1 quarter once. He wasn't happy with me either.
Did you cop a few ear massages from Spud?
No, I gave him a lot of ear massages.
And what about your teammates at the Swans and Brisbane? Obviously, back in those days, it was before the Brisbane Lions, but the Brisbane Bears and the Swans, you still keep in touch with teammates for those 2 clubs?
Yeah, we still love them, mate, man. Still a few friends. Stephen Wright was in the paper yesterday talking about me. I lived at his place for 3 months and he said I was a bit messy. I went and had sex with the missus in the bathroom and made sure I told his son. He was 15, so I taught him how to have sex. So that sort of got him a bit upset. We still talk about that. I think he's 13, but I sort of talked about the birds and bees. I said, well, get your camera ready, mate. I'm about to chop up the missus. Watch and learn. And he thought that was very, very funny. And he said, I used to eat cornflakes and mess his house up with the cornflake bowls everywhere. I said, well, you're lucky I had you been your fucking housemate. You're getting paid up the Swans, the board money, so stop being tight ass, Steve. So I felt like saying. But he was a good bloke. Stephen Wright, Mark Bays, Jamie Dersman, all friends of mine. The late, great Merv Nagel, top bloke. Second to Brownlow, good friend of mine. And the Brisbane Bears, I had 2 friends there. One was an orange boy, one was a rubber and tug girl. The rest were fucking arseholes. That's why I was on 35,000 a week. Had no fucking friends there. Who cares? I cleaned up.
The Wiz just had his own fun.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, they got to be jealous up there. Not a bad place, though. Just the Bears, I was about 10 years too early, because 10 years later, they won 3 flags. It's all about timing. Hey, love.
Well, mate,
This is coming out now.
we'll leave it there anyway. Wizard, thanks so much for joining us on Legends of Bevo, mate. Great to chat to you, and I hope we look forward to catching up when this virus is over in person when you come over to Adelaide and do some sportsman's events.
We love the Legends of Bevo show. Number 2 behind my show. We love it.
Exactly, mate. Love your work too, buddy. You take care of yourself, mate. Talk to you soon.
The Legends with Bevo. Thanks to the Holdie Hotel, Coopers, and Anytime Fitness Glenelg.